So let's talk about Rockstar INXS. So you were on the reality TV show back in 2005. They were looking for a replacement lead singer for the band INXS. What was that experience like? Way back in the day, I was on Canadian Idol. I was a finalist, so I know, I know the experience that it looks. I'm sure the experience is fantastic. There's great memories, met lots of great people, but it's not all fun and games. It can be like a boot camp. It can be difficult.
Mhm.
Can you pull back the curtains and let our listeners know what that experience was like? You could take that any way you
Mhm.
like.
Well, I've been pretty candid about it in spite of the fact that I signed a non-disclosure agreement, but nobody's going to enforce that. It was hard. I mean, first of all, I was unsure as to whether I wanted to do it. It was not during nowadays those shows are so ubiquitous, and it's a road map to fame or a record deal or whatever. Back then it really wasn't. So I was worried that it would affect my reputation and blah blah blah. So it took some convincing for me to do the show. Um but it was hard. Like I didn't have any experience singing cover songs. So that in itself was weird for me. Looking back, I would have made so many different choices. I would have understood, oh, okay, don't just pick a song because you like it, but like pick a song that's good for your voice, things like that. We also had cameras on us 24/7 because it wasn't just the music competition that was televised. They had we were on 3 times a week, scenes from the house. So they were with us always. We were mic'd always.
This was legit reality TV.
This was, yeah. And it was 2005, early days. So they completely isolated us. We were staying at this mansion in Silver Lake in Los Angeles. We weren't allowed any media, so no TV, no access to magazines or newspapers or any current affairs. All of our phone calls were monitored. So people weren't allowed to tell us about what they'd seen on TV. So it was super like we were in the Truman Show, we felt. And they really tried to pit us against each other. But the incredible thing to come out of that show was, first of all, everybody was wildly talented in their own way. So it never felt like we were competing against one another. It felt like we were doing our own thing and we would hope that we would get by. But we never, we had so much respect for each other. And it was such a musical experience that I don't think that they didn't really show the public, but we jammed and wrote songs and played music all the time. That was the best thing to come out of it. But, I was definitely, if you're scripting the show, which they do, I was not the character who was going to go very far. I was, they weren't that kind to me. I was in the bottom three a bunch. And so it was hard. It's like, it's a difficult experience when you're afraid for your life. I mean, I say that tongue in cheek, but you're afraid for your musical life. And you're afraid for your tenure on that show every week. So it's tough.
And are there any other contestants that you met on that show that you remain friends today?
I mean, most of us
Or
are
at least
still
in
in touch.
touch? Yeah. Okay.
Most of us are still in touch. Um, but I would say I just saw Ty Taylor like a month ago. He came through with his band. I went to see him. Susie McNeil and I went on to be roommates and really close friends. And I was hoping to see her here with Aerosmith because she sings backing vocals, but that tour got canceled. Still text with her every once in a while, Mig. But we did a Zoom during COVID with almost the entire cast. So on social media, we're always kind of saying hi to each other.